Hello, friends. Welcome to part 2 of your lesson for today. Yesterday, you wrote a sentence or drew a picture telling how you thought a character would respond to the problem of him dropping his ice cream cone. Today with Miss Spears, you are going to continue thinking about problems of a story and how the character would respond to the problem. She will read a story about Gilberto, and then you will choose 2 responses Gilberto might have to the problem. For this activity, you will need handout 15A. You will also need scissors and glue. Follow her directions, and if you do not have your workbook, that is okay. That would have been in your 3rd quarter curriculum bag, but if you have not picked that up yet, no big deal. Or if you do not have scissors and glue, all you need to do is write down the 2 responses that you choose in your journal, okay?
Welcome back, friends. We are going to continue our work thinking about responses, problems, and resolutions by thinking about this question. How does responding to a problem work? You are going to read a short story about the wind and Gilberto to determine which story elements are included and which ones are missing. But first, let's take a moment to review the narrative writing anchor chart. Remember, the setting is when and where the story takes place. Characters are who the story is about. Problem is the main character's challenge. The response to the problem is how characters react to the problem. And the resolution is how the problem gets solved. I want you to think about these narrative elements as I read you a partial story about Gilberto and the wind. Take a look at the story on the screen. As I read the story, you should listen carefully and point to the appropriate story element at the bottom of the screen when you hear it mentioned. For example, if I mention a character, you should point to the character icon. Listen carefully. Gilberto is in the yard playing with his balloon. Did you point to the character icon? Because Gilberto is the main character in my story. What about the setting? What is the setting of the story? Meaning, where does the story take place? I'm sure you said it. It happens in Gilberto's yard. Let's keep reading. Suddenly, wind grabs the balloon and carries it to the top of the tree. What's the problem in this story? Think, share with a learning partner. I'm sure you said it. The wind grabs the balloon and carries it to the top of a tree. Now, this story includes one response to the problem. Gilberto is angry. You are going to have an opportunity to add 2 more ways Gilberto could respond to the problem. But before you do, take a moment to get handout 15A, Gilberto and the balloon. You can also get your scissors and glue stick if you have them. And if you don't have those materials, that's okay. You'll still be able to participate. Listen carefully as I read the directions. Cut on the dotted lines. Glue the story to a sheet of paper. Listen carefully as your teacher reads the story. Select 2 ways Gilberto responds to the problem. Glue your responses below the story. Now, if you don't have the handout, again, that's okay. You can handwrite the 2 responses to the problem in your journal. Listen as I read the story. Gilberto is in the yard playing with his balloon. Suddenly, wind grabs the balloon and carries it to the top of the tree. Gilberto is angry. Now, what you're going to do is either complete handout 15A or write the 2 responses to the problem in your journal. Remember to keep all of these materials in a safe place because you will be using this information again. Pause the video now to complete handout 15A or to write the responses to the problem in your journal. Did you write your responses? I'm sure you did. In the next lesson, you will write a resolution to the problem in the story about Gilberto and the balloon. All right, awesome first graders. Nice job identifying sensory words and writing responses to a problem. Next time we'll continue with Gilberto and the wind, but until then, be kind and do something great because you are capable of greatness.